empty. Again.
So, whose turn is it to find more fuel?
Not me. Last time I accidentally stumbled on a juggernaut. I have a better idea. We could settle down here instead of moving on. I admit, it looks better than the last couple of towns we came through.
Thanks for showing up.
Now that you mention it, it does feel kinda homey.
It's settled. This town is where we'll set up our new base. We just have to find a spot that's defensible. Maybe with some room to expand.
I'll get more serious about, or get a little bit more efficient about getting started. Get it started. More energetically next time. You guys able to hear me right now?
Well, this looks like a homey neighborhood. If that screamer sees me, it's bad news.
Heads up, freak alert.
Lions deal some truth. Move that mic a little closer to my face. You guys can hear me huffing and puffing.
That's enough for now. It's useful, I guess.
Looks like my camera isn't working.
All right. This will probably fix it. I think last time we were using the game chat. There we go. Yeah, it's trying to pull audio. It's trying to pull audio from your webcam. So you're so far away from the webcam it couldn't hear you. Should be good now.
Okay, I'm here.
Although I can't hear you at all, but
I guess we're good. Time to claim this place and move in. Couldn't agree more.
Can you hear me now?
yes, I can.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Oh, that's much better.
Lesson number 1, establish communications.
Excellent.
I say we find a place that's extra defensible.
Zuger's pointing out that this is just an important part of your plan. Lesson 1, getting by with the king bee.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bihu,
Yeah,
that
take-
that is the King Bee in your review there. Toe tapping, chilling, his own person.
Nothing in here I can't handle.
Yeah.
You think you could ever be a fire ranger?
I'm increasingly discovering that I'm not as social as I thought I was. I think I absolutely could. I thought you remember me. I used to go out all the time, want to hang out with people, life of the party and all that shit. Now I'm just like, nah, I'd rather
Yeah,
be left
worst.
alone. But if anybody
Here's the
has
thing.
the right to advocate for say hey, listen, I'm missing out on a lot more life than you are, it's me, because people are like, oh, well, maybe you just like staying home. It's like, no, fuck you. I go out all the time.
Right. Here's the thing. You wouldn't be getting internet way out there.
Hmm. Yeah, but I could just recite Snakespeare when I do Shakespeare and snakes show up in the woods. It's happened on more than one occasion. I do my Snakespeare.
Nothing more to see here.
God, can you imagine, like, you bring a library of, like, DVDs and stuff, and then you get up there and you realize the only thing that transferred over to your hard drive is, like, the entirety of 2.5 Men or some shit like that. That's all you have to watch.
Maybe we could make it our heap.
I think 2.5 Men is one of those shows that I've never seen a single episode, but I just am fairly confident, like Big Bang Theory, that there's just no reason for me to watch it. I would rather
No.
watch nothing.
Yeah, like, I'd start studying, like, bark growth patterns in the local trees.
So, and that's the first topic for today, everybody, on Getting By with the King Bee. It's going to be bark growth patterns, and what, and you.
Bark
So,
growth patterns are really like the fingerprint of the tree.
Enjoy your water and power, everyone.
I just want to send a hello to everybody who's joining you on your inaugural premiere of Getting By with the King Bee. So Karen Wu, Bihu, Gaz, thanks for being here. SF Punker, of course, Zuger. Thanks, guys, for being here. We're up to, we got what, I'm in this new
14?
moderator view, so I can't even tell. 14 viewers, it's awesome. So, and I think I'm the leading cheerer, so that's pretty exciting.
Hooray!
Hooray! Do a couple more of those. If you guys want to cheer, you can just hit the little bit icon. It's right next to the chat box. I'm gonna release some cheers here. There's a zombie one. It's perfect for getting by with the King Bee. Not 5,000. Let's do.
We're not that good.
Not that good. You gotta show your ass or something. Do that. There we go. Cheers all around. Nice.
Hooray!
Oh, Karma, thanks. Big cheer. Just did a sampling of all the cheer
Oh, what a guy.
emotes that are possible. Look at that.
Or gal.
What a guy. He's a
what
guy.
a human being.
All right, so King Bee, walk us through what you're doing here with your base.
So when you start these campaigns, typically you get to choose 3 survivors. Now, I've played this game a handful of times, so I've got about 50-some survivors banked up that all have skills that are pretty well established. Right now, I'm running with Ricky. Ricky's ready, actually, to specialize in a few of his skills. You start with 3 characters, and your first order of business is to find a defensible home base that you can maintain. This is a walled-off area. It's going to have some different amenities. This base comes pre-built with a little medical area, a radio station, some beds, and some storage, and a couple parking spots. I'll get to pick 2 additional spots. I can build a workshop for crafting and repair. I build another set of beds if I want to add more people to our little home base. There's a few little things. Some food for food production. Typically, the first thing you want to do is start food production. Let's go ahead and not do anything because it looks like the only thing we could build here is some hydroponics, but I need someone who knows a little bit about utilities, running some power and water to my station. So sounds like we're going to be a little hungry for a while in our base. I'm going to have to rely on foraging for food, and that's just how we're going to get by. I climbed up as high as I could and scouted out some spots. You can see there's a tool shed there, a campsite, a toilet, another campsite or a tool shed, and a car. Cars are super handy for getting around, obviously. Some storage areas, that's going to have some cool stuff. And we'll just start by going all these areas, looting everything, bringing it back to the base, and kind of getting a cache of supplies to get us through.
Now, King B, I know that you have some experience with hydroponics. Can you give us any tips on if Two-Tone Karma were attempting to grow hydroponics at home? What are the pros and cons of growing hydroponics?
Well, a lot of it's anecdotal. Hydroponics is a really great way to efficiently grow stuff clean and fast. You get your plants to kind of mature a lot quicker with a hydroponic setup, just because their nutrient uptake is sped up so much. The downside to it is that if you aren't very shit, I forgot gas. If you aren't really responsible and watching things, I mean, you've got to be precise with your nutrients and clean water, because you can get nutrient burn. Things can burn up real quick, and I don't mean like burn up in a fire sense, but just it's easy to overfeed a plant in a hydroponic setup really easily. But if you've got good electricity and good lights, you can do that stuff indoors, which protects you from, a lot of pests, a lot of critters and varmints and things that would normally eat up the plants that you're trying to grow yourself.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
Ashley pointed out that her daughter Ellie, whose birthday it is this Sunday. By the way, happy birthday, Ash. Her daughter Ellie, whose birthday is this Sunday, keeps pointing to the screen and saying "Daddy." Is there
To some,
anything you want
yes.
to talk? Yes, to many.
I've seen some things.
Now, King B, we noticed that in this game you haven't been shooting a lot of things, but prefer to just whack them with stuff. What's the advantage to the melee as opposed to just fucking blasting people with your gun?
It's not so much an advantage as there's just serious limitations to resources. In this game, guns you can find, ammunition is even more scarce than the notion that you may find ammunition that actually fits your gun is even tougher still. It just makes more sense to maintain a melee weapon. If you thought about it in a realistic sense, even though we are like the greatest armed nation on the planet, I think that our resources as far as armaments are still pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Sequestered amongst certain segments of the population. And in a scenario where goods are no longer being produced or sold, it's not going to be that easy to just go find a gun and bullets. So you've really got to conserve that stuff for when it's going to be of paramount importance. It's like that movie The Road. The most of the movie they're walking around with an old revolver that only has 2 bullets in it. Those 2 bullets aren't for defending themselves against external threats. They're about taking themselves out before a cannibal or something even worse. Something worse than death befalls them. So, in the end times, if you've got them, they're great, but don't count on guns and ammo being the thing that saves the day.
One of my favorite things about The Road is it's Cormac McCarthy. Like everyone's like, "Oh, it's such a depressing book, like post-apocalyptic father and son story," and it all, And I'm like, it's actually the most optimistic Cormac McCarthy book. Like the rest of them are 10 times more depressing. Ash is saying that it's one of her favorites. Oh, Sarah, she's watching. So, guys, if you're just joining, the King Bee is taking us through the beginning of his new community. So, just for you guys, he started a brand new campaign, and he's going through right now and looting around in State of Decay 2. This is Getting By with the King Bee. Thanks, everybody, for your cheers. If you'd like to cheer, just hit the little bit emoji, show your support for the King Bee. Let everybody know how popular he is. Big D reviews all the results of every single stream. So let's show him some love for the King Bee. As well, if you have not subscribed, you can go ahead and do that through Twitch Prime. Just go over to Twitch Prime and you can put it on your credit card. And if you have an Amazon subscription, Amazon Prime subscription, you can just get it included in your Amazon Prime subscription, no additional cost. So thanks everybody who's been doing that. I also put a link in right now to donate to Shat Podcast to help support the pods and the streams. And I will shut up now. Oh, and
you had mentioned some affiliate links.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying?
I would say Boohoo is asking, how is your real arsenal during the pandemic? But go ahead and talk about affiliate links.
So I have a small library of books that I have felt are pretty useful. Mostly, and they're not really exciting books. A lot of it's going to be hardware and maintenance and like home maintenance books, medical books, and just things about food production, which are really going to be of paramount importance. And I was talking with Gene about maybe sharing a little bit of my library. We might create some affiliate links so that if you want to purchase those same books that we'll talk about in future episodes, maybe we make a few pennies off of that referral.
Yeah, so we can go ahead and build that out. We do have an Amazon link that I just shared in there. We get like a couple of pennies for any purchase you make off of Amazon using the Shat the Movies link or Shat on TV link. But it's gonna be fun. Yeah, put together like the King Bee's library, survival library, and let people.
One of the
pick
things
up
that
books.
I did every Amazon day, I'll buy a new Kindle Fire because they're like some nominal $20 fee. And I will go and upload. I went to one of those BitTorrent sites that does books, and I downloaded 30 or 40 survival bushcrafts books, and every beekeeping and every micro farming book I could find, and I just dump them all on that Kindle Fire, and then I leave it sit, and I never really do anything with it. And the notion is that in a bad scenario, I've got a little electronic library of everything that I would need to reference. In the end times, you can't really carry around a stack of books.
You could be carrying like the collective knowledge of civilization on a Kindle.
I'm gonna pull like what was that, Book of Eli, and be like Denzel Washington. Was it Denzel Washington?
I don't know. I think this is a dangerous question. I'm not going to answer.
Anyway, Book of Eli. It's post-apocalyptic. He's a blind swordsman rolling around, and he's got the last copy of the Bible.
Ah.
Some real sanctimonious saccharine shit.
Got a question for you about a bug out bag from Two Tone Karma. That's the question. It is bug out bag.
One?
Yeah.
Yeah, bug out bags are a really handy little thing. The idea is that you've always got a little bag in your car or near a doorway or an exit or wherever you are, that has everything you need to travel for 2 days, survival-wise. So you're looking at, some water, some basic first aid, some foodstuffs, just whatever you might need in a worst-case scenario for 2 days. They're handy. It's easy in Arizona because one of the things we never really have to prepare for is inclement weather, which is like one of the toughest things to plan because it's tough to have, thermal pants and a jacket everywhere, stashed behind every door. Um, and just the basic nature of like living in this valley, I can get anywhere on foot in 2 days if I just have enough water. But you want to have kind of weird things that you wouldn't think about, like sunglasses and sunblock and chapstick, a hat. Weapons are kind of secondary, but if you're if you're financially able to have 2 or 3 pistols laying around your house, you should do it. Um, that's not for everyone, but it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. One of the mistakes that I made, because I'd taken a EMT course and did everything but get state certified, studied a whole lot on the topic, is my bug out bags and my efforts to kind of create sort of a med kit really just overkill. I mean, I've got occlusive dressings and eye patches and just shit that probably not going to run into. How many of those little foldable splints do you really need? So then it gets to be like, oh, this is my bug out medical bag, and this is my bug out food bag, and yada yada yada.
That should keep us a little while.
It's tough because you can really over prepare really easily.
So I'm already noticing how much better than you are than I am at State of Decay too, because you prioritize the rucksacks right off the bat. You're like stacking those in, running them back very rapidly, whereas I follow whatever the prompt is like immediately. Like, so if somebody's like, my ass itches, I'm like, gonna go find some ass cream, but I see that you've got a method set up like, where you're prioritizing the rucksacks and really rolling solo a lot, not taking any sort of a follower with you.
I've never taken followers with me. I feel like the AI isn't strong enough. One of the things you notice when you were jumping in the game and following me is how often we would get stuck in a doorway.
I
Two
think that's
people
mostly
are gonna
my
make
fault.
Nah, it's not. So it's just kind of a flaw of the game. You've just got people kind of stumbling over each other. If you carry a follower with you, that AI is very stumbly and just up your butt. And like I don't feel like I run into enough challenges to warrant that second person. Although I probably should, because they do have the functionality where you can dump a rucksack off on a guy, um, which is handy because then you're just increasing your capacity for carrying stuff.
Yeah, I basically take followers strictly to carry rucksacks for me.
That's a good move. Maybe my bandwidth for what I choose to focus on is so small that I just worry about me. It's kind of like I think one of my parts of my ethos is if there's something you can't do by yourself, really ask yourself, is it worth doing? You have to, and not to be shitty, but it's just like, when I was a kid growing up, my dad was always like, we gotta pull together for the family ranch, and we gotta make this work, and one day this will all be yours, and that's why you gotta work and be miserable, blah, blah, blah. And I just, like, it really embittered me, because I just thought, you know what, like, if you need your wife and 2 young children to do as much work as you, a full-grown man, to make this venture work, maybe you didn't plan this venture so fucking good, and maybe it doesn't deserve, like, maybe it shouldn't work. It shouldn't be everyone else's job to maintain, your success.
So Karen brought
Thanks,
up a
Dad,
point.
for the blazing independence.
So Karen brought up a point. She said, so basically, if we're stuck in Zombieland, the bee is going to leave us all behind. And Nick was
You
wondering
better
about
be.
rucksacks.
I'm not gonna leave you behind, but you know, like they say, you're only as fast as your slowest teammate. I'm gonna be pretty fast.
Nick was asking what's important about the. So Nick just downloaded SF Punker. He just downloaded the game today, and was wondering what's important about the rucksacks. Like, explain that.
So rucksacks are kind of like specialized fuel for your community. Think about it like this. You, as you're running around, might find an old slice of pizza or something, and you can munch on that. But that doesn't sustain the rest of your camp or society. Oh, that sucks. Rucksacks are going to be bulk amounts of resources. So they're food. They're sort of nondescript bulk food, fuel, ammo, and building materials. To maintain a large and sizable camp, you're gonna need bulk food, bulk medicine, bulk ammo, bulk fuel, bulk materials, etc. Rucksacks can be broken down into individual food items, or they can be used as that specialized fuel for your camps. And when you first begin, your camp is small, it doesn't have very many needs. You're not going to draw very heavily on resources. But as things grow and expand, you'll find that like certain camp activities require like, oh, this is going to eat up 5 food, or this is going to eat up 3 medical resources, and that's all your rucksacks.
Damn, it's locked. Might be a safe spot to rest for a few.
Getting a lot of positive comments about your squatty potty position while you play. It looks very relaxed. But you are upright today. Sunday you were
Yeah, I'm
completely
upright
on your
today. I
side.
figured I wanted to make a good impression, so I decided not to just sprawl out on the couch. Letting my jimmies dangle free.
Yeah. And that's important in Arizona, actually. If you lie down for too long, you overheat. You have to keep your extremities separated and your jimmies, as it were, breathing, unrustled. Ash says that this is a good impression stance. That's good to know. Karen is impressed. Tuyach is calling it your power pose.
It doesn't show off my beautiful calves as nicely as I'd like.
They are really impressive. They're like sculpted from marble. Quite nice. Thanks for the cheer, Karma.
Might be a safe spot to rest for a few.
See, now Karma's bringing up like this, like very typical idea that in a post-apocalyptic world, or in sort of a post-pandemic world, whatever, if everything went to anarchy and everything went to shit, I think that there's the overwhelming assumption that like warlords and really bad people would run everything, and everybody who like stood for anything good would just fucking fail. I kind of feel
Clearly, they
like,
didn't watch The Postman.
is that Il Postino?
No, Kevin Costner's
Oh,
Postman.
Kevin Costner's Postman. Okay. Because I just feel like there is the possibility that there's enough like civic-minded, good guys and gals who would stand up and say, no, fuck it, like we're willing to fight to protect each other, hopefully, or maybe not. What do you think?
I mean, you gotta
Thanks,
be
Ash.
willing to make, like, the bad decision, right? Like, You got to make the tough decisions. I'm going to get real weird here for a minute. If I was in charge of a small or like a survival group, and we had like, say, a walled off, or if we had a well-defended base of operations, whether it be a small neighborhood block that's been, blocked in with cars or what have you. I know a really great spot in Scottsdale, dude, by the way. If it goes down, we're just going to start evicting people from houses because this place will fence in so nice. Anyway, you've got to be a good person, and there's going to be people that don't have the resources and they don't have what you have. But if you go and you're super charitable, then you don't have anything to give, and your people will suffer. And God, you know what? Like, you can't just have too many cooks in the kitchen. You can't open it up to just everybody, because then everyone thinks that they get a vote, and that's just not how it works in a broken society. You need like one leading voice or one leading vision. And so I just figured if I had a good setup and I was how about prospering? If we could, I imagine a family is at the gate. You say, "Hey, I'll feed your kids, but you got to get the fuck gone. I don't have room for more people. If you want to leave your kids, we'll take care of your children, but you guys, adults, you got to get the fuck gone. You go scout. You bring me some fucking treasure." You make them the front lines, because you can't just let people in willy-nilly and then they think that they're entitled to larger shares of whatever. It's just, no, you got to run the show, and you got to make the shitty decision that makes you a bad guy.
So King B,
So I would feed children, but I would tell everyone else to go fuck themselves.
what about British children?
Yeah. The first thing I'm going to loot is those little oatmeal packets.
We've got Ash. Ash is pushing to get a hype train going for you, King B. Your first hype train. So she cheered 100 bits. All Might followed up with 2. I followed up with 100. An anonymous gifter actually gave me my Gene Lyons account a community subscription gift. Thank you, anonymous gifter. Sarah jumped in with another 50 bits. Punker jumped in with a bit. And Ash came back in with another 100 bits on her birthday. So giving. So we are 54% of our way through a hype train with 3 minutes left to go, guys. So if you are watching, again, everything that we do is always free to enjoy. But this is the King B's first stream on his own. So if we can make a hype train happen as he wanders these dangerous areas in the night. He's doing this for your entertainment, folks. He could be dying at the hands of whatever peril lurks. Cam, thank you for jumping in. Punker, thanks for your cheer as well. By the way, King B, Cam was very excited that you were, Camerell was very excited that you were doing your stream. She showed up just for you. All Might 8882, thanks for the cheer. All right, here we go. We are 55% of the way through the hype train with 2 minutes to go. So let's keep the love going for the King B, guys. Again, if you don't have bits to cheer, just click the little bit icon next to your chat box. Gaz jumping in with 100 bits, getting us to 62%, all the way from the UK, where he is for the second night. Where'd you get all them
bits, Gaz?
He's staying up for the second night in a row late with us. It is 1:45 in the morning over there, and he was up with us till 4 a.m. last night. So, Two-Tone Karma jumping in with the 14-bit cheer. So, got it going there. We're at 64%. Oh, an anonymous jumping in with 200-bit cheer. We are now at 76%. 77, 82. Gaz jumping in with another 100 bits all the way from the UK. 83 percent here. Gaz, by the way, was DJing with me all day today, putting on our Discord. If you guys are not on the Discord, we play music in there as well, and organize games. Another big pride cheer from Ash with the 100. We're now at 89% with 1 minute and 40 seconds left. Cam with another cheer. Karma with another cheer. That should get us there. Oh, we're at 96%. Who's going to push us over the edge and get us probably some really not exciting emoji? But that's okay. It's about teamwork, guys. The real emojis are the friends we make along the way. We have 1 minute 19 to go. And Punker with 25 bits gets us to 97%, 98%. Gaz has got us there. Ash with another 7 getting us to 98. God, if there were nudity allowed on this stream, we would be there. We'd have Eddie jump in and save
I mean,
the
you're
day.
only in trouble if you get caught, right?
Oh, Captain Tyler comes in and gets on us. We got a B Pride cheer from Two Tone Karma that got us to 100% in connection with Cam and Gaz. We hit our level 1 hype train with 40 seconds to spare, guys. Very, very nice. King B, congratulations on your first hype train on Twitch. That's a lot of love from the 17 people who are watching. A lot of regulars who hang out with us in Discord. Thanks a lot, guys. No Eddie. No Eddie.
King B, blessings upon all of you.
King B, blessings upon all. And birthday blessings from Ash.
And birthday blessings. Spending their birthday watching me play video games. Just like all my ex-girlfriends.
Aw. And I know them all. Did you have any girlfriends before Cindy?
Do you remember how I met Cindy?
I remember how I met
best
Cindy.
friend Brandy.
Oh, Brandy! That's right. But I knew Brandy too.
What a woman she became.
Did you have a girlfriend before Brandy?
Yeah, I mean, I've had, I'm not without my charms.
No, I'm not saying you're not. It's the question. I mean, you knew me before I'd ever had a girlfriend.
I remember my first kiss was a little blonde-haired girl named Wendy. We were at Skateland. And Wendy said, she comes up to me, she goes, "Do you like Jenny?" And I go, I don't know. Yeah, Jenny's fine. And she's like, "Do you think Jenny likes you?" And I go, I don't care. She goes, "Is there anyone you like?" And I go, I don't know. Like, I'm just fucking dumb. What are you talking to me, Wendy? And then she goes, "Would you kiss anyone?" And I go, well, maybe. And then she reaches over and she goes, "'Cause I would kiss you." And she gives me a smooch.
Aww.
It was really sweet. And I was really moved by the whole thing. And then I thought about it all weekend long. All I could think about was that little blonde-haired girl, Wendy. Looked like the little girl from the Swiss Miss package. Anyway, she moved 2 weeks later and I never saw her again.
Well, so, I mean, that's kind of like set the tone for your life, though. Just fleeting bits of happiness
Thanks for bringing it up.
Well, hey, I mean, listen, I'm in the same boat, but it was just kind of like, these things happen to us. You know what it is, King B? This is what it is. We can work as hard as we want at anything that we want, and the payoff always comes, it's always delayed or misplaced by the universe. It's like the thing we're actually working for doesn't quite work out, but then somewhere else there's like the reward, and we never put it together, Maybe that's it.
I had the funeral discussion with Sonny last night, which was basically, don't, and this goes for you, really, don't let my parents have anything to do with it. Because they're cheap, and they're lazy, and they don't care, and they'll just cremate me, because that's what poor people who don't give a shit have to do. And they'll just cremate me, and they'll probably never pick me up from the cremator or whoever it is. So it's imperative that you don't let my family have anything to do with my funeral arrangements, and I want to be buried diagonal across 2 spaces. Because you spend your entire life just trying to have anything that's yours, and then they stick you in the fucking ground in a piece of ground smaller than you should have.
Now, I discovered recently when I went to my friend's grandmother's funeral that
She hot?
she was hot. No, that Costco has excellent caskets. I didn't know you can get caskets from Costco.
I think I'm gonna need one of those like giant fat people caskets because I want to be buried with my treasures. And I just don't think a regular casket's big.
I can't catch my breath.
Yeah, I mean, what are the things you want to be buried with?
I want to be buried with my Rocketeer helmet, and my Buck Rogers space pistol, which is around here someplace. And I need to have a handkerchief and a pocket knife and a pair of my Ray-Bans.
I have an idea. Let's look somewhere else.
And, just whatever kind of comes to mind. I may acquire more treasures as life goes on. But I would like it if some archaeological dig finds me someday, or digs up my remains, and there's no record of what lay there before, they think I'm some sort of futuristic soldier for heaven.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people saying that they'd rather be cremated because being buried freaks them out. Ash, I thought you wanted to have your ashes scattered on a bench. Oh, that's the Paris thing, a Paris bench. Okay, she wants to be cremated and her ashes spread in New Orleans and Paris, and for everyone to dance at her memorial, like a big dance party. I think it's called a wake, isn't it? Then Punker says he imagines that your parents are like the dude and Walter carrying you in a coffee can.
Around here, but the living.
Karma
That's that.
says he's made it clear that he's going back to the fatherland and not cremated. Fuck that.
All right, listen.
Okay, we got a cherry. Our hype train emote is it's a hype cherry. That's what you get. Oh, because we popped your Twitch cherry.
Ew.
Remember when we used to go to Cherry Poppin' Daddy shows and we didn't think there was anything wrong with that?
Oh, it's just
Like as an
gross.
adult now, I'm like, ugh, what the fuck?
Ska. Ugh.
Yeah. But also, like, they dared call their band the Cherry Poppin' Daddies, and we were all just like,
That's fucking
okay. I tried to buy a zoot suit. I literally saved up my money and was like, I want to buy a zoot suit. See, Ash, you're saying it was gross, but you have the benefit of 3 extra years of life. So you're 3 years behind us. So I think I'll be honest, maybe King B, I don't know, you're different, but when Cherry Poppin' Daddies were like a thing, I did not associate the name with the loss of virginity until probably a year into it, when suddenly I just sat down one day and was like, oh. It's like when I discovered that Save Ferris was a reference to Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which I had seen, I just never thought about it.
Yeah.
So my great-grandmother, you never met her, beautiful lady, Verda Gaddis. She was like tall. She was like 5'8", which in the 1920s that was tall because everyone was malnourished and small back then. When she passed away and they buried her, I remember visiting her grave, and here's her headstone, and then here's another headstone like at where her feet would be. It was only like 5 feet and 5 inches away, and I just thought, these sons of bitches, they're stacking people on top of each other. There's overlap, and it really offended me because this is my great-grandmother, and she should be buried next to her husband, and that's just, nobody should fuck with them after that. And
Right.
some fucking dude is buried on my grandma's feet. What the fuck is that? It's unacceptable. And it's just disgusting to me that no matter how good or great a person is, or how much they deserve to be remembered, like, this world just wants to fucking take it all back from you. Like, you get nothing. And I'm so angry about it. So, bury me diagonal across 2 spaces. Bury me with all my favorite fucking treasures. I want an obelisk.
Well, I mean, going back to Nicolas Cage, he's one step ahead of you, buddy. He's got his own pyramid.
Right.
Two-Tone Karma says, this is why we need a Shat mausoleum, and Zuger says, King B, lesson number 2. Apparently you can take it with you.
Thank you.
What was lesson 1? Establish communications? Lesson 2?
Communications.
You can take it with you. There we go.
And you remember that scene in The Road where they find the bunker and
Spoiler
the first
alert.
thing the guy does? Yeah, remember that scene in The Road that came out 12, 14 years ago? Spoiler alert.
And was a book before that, yeah? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, they find the bunker full of supplies, and and they stop for a minute and they just say thank you, and they're not thanking God. They're not. I mean, it's a religious observance to the men that left these things behind. That's one of the most beautiful scenes.
I'm back.
I not to co-opt Native American culture, but I always think meat before I eat it, like in my head, and I never leave, and not just because I'm a fat kid, I never leave any meat uneaten. So like if I like say I'm sitting there and I'm eating like I was gonna say pizza, but I never stop eating pizza. But like, say I'm eating like I don't know, maybe I go to a place and there's like some turkey and gravy, some mashed potatoes and green beans, and I'm running out of space in my stomach. I always make sure to finish the turkey, not because it's my favorite food, but because turkey's a garbage meat, but because something had to die to give me the turkey.
Well, one,
I'm
I like the sentiment, but turkey can be fucking delicious. You're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about.
it can be, but again, you add so many things to it. It's adulterated turkey.
What are you adding? You smoke it.
No, when you said it, you're like you take the turkey and then the mayonnaise and you crush some chips
Oh.
and then you put some mustard on it. The
No, that was the
tears
sandwich. I'm
from
talking
a
about just
Aleutian virgin.
Me and Sunny went to get barbecue the other day, and she ordered turkey, which I thought was a little stupid, but whatever. It's her dinner. I don't care. But she got the turkey. It was fucking delicious.
Ash is saying that she's got to head out. They're gonna have Finn has planned a in the dark flashlight hide and seek game for her birthday. Ash, thanks for joining us on your birthday, getting the hype train going. We love you. Thanks for spending time with us too, and agreeing to do Lovecraft Country with me and the King Bee starting this August. So that I'm super fucking jazzed about this trio working on that show. But have a
Very
great night,
happy
Ash.
birthday. I hope you beat your children severely at hide and seek.
I didn't know where that sentence was going at all. Yes. Are you playing Mel? Is that the character you're playing right now, Mel?
This is
Oh, is that? Oh, that's what's his face.
Ricky.
Shio. What is it?
It's Ricky.
Oh, Ricky. Okay. My leader is Mel.
Oh, why aren't you jumping in my game, bro?
I don't know. You haven't invited me.
Can you just join?
No, you have to invite me. You hit your start menu,
Jesus.
and then you gotta invite me in.
I sent an invite.
Oh, cool. Thanks. Let me hop over there. Let me jump into the game there. I was telling people, some of my friends who play, whatchamacallit, Animal Crossing, New Horizons, that basically that's what State of Decay is. It's like Animal Crossing.
Yeah, you take on tasks.
Yeah,
For
you
different,
build a little community. Yeah.
I gotta get some sort of rig here where I can see the chat. I'm not doing
Yeah.
a good job, guys.
Hey, Frugi 204 just showed up. What's up, 204? Thanks for joining us. Ash just privately messaged me about Lovecraft Country and said, I'm getting more and more excited, y'all. She's so sweet.
Tell me what I got to look forward to. I've done zero research. I have not read.
She
the
must be
book.
drunk because she's messaging me right now. Like we're not doing a stream. Just ask me questions. All right, we need the invite one more time, KB.
There we go. Karen, you said you're looking for an invite. Are you gonna come join us? My gamer tag is King B Lives if you want to reach out for an invite. Shoot me a message. I need some fuels. And Gene is loaded in. Get in the truck. We're going on a drive.
All right, rock and roll. Mel's here.
"19 viewers. I don't know what to do with myself."
Oh no,
Gene,
I lost game
I
audio.
posted
Oh,
on
no.
Twitter. I posted on Twitter about that little survey about Happy Gilmore being a perfect movie. I posted it while watching Billy Madison. And I'm torn because Billy Madison has that Steve Buscemi scene, which I think is one of the funniest fucking scenes I've ever seen in a movie. Like, on a subtle level. And I was just wondering how you feel about Adam Sandler comedies.
Oh, sorry, I had a bit of lag there. Sorry, was that Adam Sandler comedy question for me or for the audience?
Yes.
I just got back in the
For
audience.
you.
For me? Oh, I think
Yeah.
I think that the early run of movies was fantastic. Big fan of Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore. And even some of the other ones were like pretty good. I even kind of liked I think Big
Waterboy's
Daddy
great.
was on the fence there. I love Waterboy. I kind of like Grandma's Boy too.
Now, Grandma's Boy was just his production company, right? He
Wasn't
doesn't
in
show
that?
up for that one.
Who was
No.
the star of that?
That's that Nick Swardson guy, and then like that dude that's like his cousin or something.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Canyonero. But that Steve Buscemi playing that Electric Light Orchestra and putting on lipstick.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Crossing his name off People to Kill.
Jen is back in the chat. She said, "What did I miss?" And they explained that basically the gist of it so far is that the King Bee will let us all die in an apocalypse if we don't contribute. I think it's a fair
Yeah.
a fair assessment.
Oh, you gotta be shitting me.
What's that?
This is a new introduction to part of the update for State of Decay 2 is a guy who does bounties.
Oh yeah, I've talked to him. Cash Beaumont.
Cash Beaumont. I really want him to sound like Buck Strickland from King of the Hill.
Teamwork.
Hello, my friend.
Yeah, that is not what he sounds like in my head.
Perhaps you might help with some of these bounties.
That was a fucking casting mistake.
I mean, guys, I don't think we're going to make the argument of art versus wanting to make money with Adam Sandler. I would say that's like a Kevin Smith thing. Like Kevin Smith sold out absolutely, but I would say that
Oh, 100%.
in the case of Adam Sandler, I wouldn't call it art, but he definitely had a vision of a type of humor that nobody else was doing, and he did it, and he did it well.
I mean, no one can say that The Wedding Singer isn't a fantastic film.
Yeah, it's great.
Nuts. Like,
And kind of like Roger
would
and Big
even-
D were saying on the Wayne's World podcast for Shot the Movies, like they were saying how basically like that movie brought Queen back into the spotlight. It brought so many things into Alice Cooper into like the mainstream, like younger audience. I'd say the same thing with Adam Sandler was, whether it's like Drew Barrymore was. I mean, what was she doing?
right.
Before she got back in there. Adam Sandler brought so many people back into the limelight, I got this guy. Come on, big boy.
I know you do. And if you didn't, you were going to die alone in a field.
Oh, cool. I get influence for kills on your game. That's cool.
Yeah, that's one of the big benefits to jumping in another person's game is that you'll get influence that you can use for trade when you get back into your game.
It's tight.
And you get to put up with me doing dumb shit like fast searching and drawing zombies on us all.
Uh-oh. I'm stuck. I'm gonna have to do a stuck start. Oh, there we go. Where is he?
The old lady paying in meatballs. You know what? Food is currency. And
I fucking forgot about that.
All right. I gotta upgrade my base by building a new facility.
Now, Punker's saying he couldn't make it through Uncut Gems. Did you try to watch that, King B?
I'm glad we've already got a start on building this.
Yeah, I did. I watched it the night it came out. I would say give it a second watch. It is a tough one. God, what did I have to say? It felt like 2.5 hours of Adam Sandler making sure he was yelling louder than anyone else on screen.
That's a relief.
It was anxiety-inducing for sure. Jesus Christ. But upon a second watch, it gets better. Which, you know what, here's the thing. If you gotta watch a movie twice to enjoy it, that movie failed. It's just how it is.
I think it was
the first time I watched... Go ahead.
I think it was Two Tone Karma or somebody was telling me in Discord that I needed to watch Hamilton several more times and listen to the music several more times to start appreciating it. So
No, you need to listen to it 4 more times, not me.
thanks for the cheers, John. Happy anniversary too. Three years, King B. This man's been married 3 years. What's wrong with us?
3
Why
years.
doesn't anybody love us?
You know what? Tell me about the easiest part that maybe you didn't anticipate and the toughest part. That's what I want to know.
Let us know, John. Toughest part and easiest part.
Plague heart can't be far away. I think I smell it.
Oh, we got a plague heart? What am I
Yeah,
even
and I,
carrying?
as you can see here, I've got like 0 energy.
I've got no explosives at all. Oh,
I've
okay.
got 3 fuel bombs.
That's a pretty good weapon. I got an assault rifle with 14 rounds.
Get used to the smell.
All right, let's see if I can chuck this in there. I thread the needle with my throw. Boom. Hey, watch my back because it's gonna get shitty.
More ammo here.
Alright. Got you. They're coming from the right. And the left.
Great,
Shit,
keep
I
them
got
off
this
me.
one.
Plague heart, they won't give us any more trouble.
Boom, got it.
Nice work. Look at us.
Shambling
Bingo, bango. Nice gun in there. Nice pack.
Find useful stuff.
Got a ruck and some weapons. Weapon remains. Sorry,
no room for that.
not weapons.
What the hell am
Look at us, guys. That's what 25 years of friendship will get you. Clear out a plague card.
Teamwork.
Boom.
Like ringing a bell.
Not much.
Alright, that's all the areas I can search. I got 3 over here for you. Right. Yeah, 3.
I need to get some of
No way I can
these.
fit this.
One more out here in this room.
I am full and tired, so I need to go and drop all this shit off at the base and switch characters. If I can find a rucksack in here, I'll take it.
I've got one.
Other, do you?
Yeah, if you want to drop some shit too, I've got, Oh, wait, you don't get those, huh? Never mind. I got 6
if you-
available
if-
slots.
Oh, I've got all the slots.
If you want anything carried. John says the easiest part is they love just hanging out with each other. The hardest part is being indecisive about what to watch on TV or have for a meal. Dude, that's a good problem to
Bro.
have.
Listen, me and Sonny, I'm just gonna confess, and I'm not defending myself. I do a dickhead thing. I fucking yell at Sonny all the time for not having opinions on what to eat or what to watch. That's tough. I
We're
can't.
done here.
Oh shit,
I'm
Big
a
D
jerk
just
about
showed
how
up.
little patient I have.
Well, no, I mean, but I think you're very plain about who you are, though. I don't think it's any mystery to anybody. I almost said mystery. I don't know where that came from. King B, or Big D just joined in. He asked if there's any kayaking in this game.
No kayaking in this game, so you can play. You're safe. I had the great pleasure of taking Raj and Big D kayaking in my summer months. I offer kayak guide services on a local river out here. We do wild horse sightings and do a little desert kayaking. And I just didn't have the right equipment. And Big D had a terrible time the entire time. It was a real rough day. But he was a wonderful sport about it the entire time. It was an absolute pleasure to hang out with him.
Got some cheers going for Big D from SF Punker. Thanks, Nick, for the cheers. Big D, you just missed Ash, who was in here for her birthday. Oh god, are we gonna run out of gas on the way up?
Boy, that would be a pickle, wouldn't it? Keep an eye
Call
out.
me Mr. Butterfingers.
Call me Mr. Butterfingers. On day 2 of survival, I have a huge surplus of food. I have not found any bullets. I don't find them to... Bullets are typically the least useful scenario. Oh, this would be a terrible place to run out of gas.
Hmm.
A feral zombie on our tail.
And I do not have a single gas can. Or a single random ammunition, so that's cool.
We'll be alright.
Nick gave us a shout out for the UHF reference. Thanks. 2 of 4 using some squish gene emotes. Appreciate it, 2 of 4. I never realized how good I looked squished. Oh man, we're gonna have to push it the last 10 feet.
No, we're good. Hey, why don't you get out and go kill that screamer?
Alright.
Tuck and roll, buddy.
I don't have any ammunition, so I'm gonna have to beat it with a hammer.
Oh, look, right here. Ran
Where?
out of gas.
Wow. Or I'm gonna sneak up on this fella. He's looking my way, I'm gonna sneak around him. If you hear a scream, I fucked up.
Yeah?
Yeah. Got him.
Karma, you're a pal. Thanks for showing up.
Thanks, Karma. Oh, yeah, you guys couldn't see it, but I was being very sneaky. And I picked up a plague sample over here, too. So plague samples, guys, there's a thing called the blood plague, much like in the Dog Stars, excellent book. If you kill these plague zombies who can infect you, you get plague samples, and those samples can be used to make anti-plague. What do they call it? Anti-plague
Plague
serum, cure, plague cure. There you go.
There you go.
Hey, King B, mind if I borrow some 5.56 rounds?
You take. You know what? Is it charge you influence to get them?
No. You got 50 of them.
Buddy, I don't have any 5.56 rounds.
Oh, it's pulling from my. Oh, maybe it goes into my supply locker.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Cool. All right, well. Pause this ruck for you here.
Let's see what we got here for explosives. Not
Thanks for stopping in, Big D. Good to see you. Also, thank you for not calling it putting Emma down. Putting her to bed sounds much nicer. Are we doing anything that
Thanks for
requires
checking in.
explosives right now?
I just figured if you've got them, let's go fucking blow up.
Yeah,
some
of course I do.
places.
Cool. I've been producing them actually. Some pipe bombs.
You know, as an unofficial and unsanctioned shatter, if any of our listeners want some secrets or juicy gossip, remember, I'm not tied to any sort of notions of propriety. So get all your favorite hot chat gossip from me direct.
I don't think you don't know anything about Ash yet, right? You still got.
I don't.
She's
get
safe
it.
so far. Yeah.
I wouldn't say she's safe.
All right, let's clear this motherfucker out. Oh, these are people.
Oh, this
Never
one
mind.
is this one's clear. We're just gonna bring her some leg samples.
Haze.
One of us gets infected.
Karen wants to gossip.
Happy to share the recipe if you need it.
You gotta ask
I
questions.
appreciate that.
All right, guys, you gotta ask King B the questions, and you gotta bribe him.
Because I mean, listen, I could just rattle off humiliating shit all day long,
Yeah, it's true.
but that's not like effective. There's nothing up there.
We have a new development to report. Fewer plague hearts means fewer plague zombies. Let's get to it.
Thanks for the cheers, Big D. On his way out, gentlemen. Yo, Canyon Arrow's seen better days.
Yeah, we've been romping. Promote a leader. All right. His leader is.
I waited until Mel was ready because I didn't want to have a warlord leader. I picked the
So
sheriff
your leaders
leader.
dictate what you can build in your base.
Hmm.
Leader projects. So your warlord gets to build an armory, which is actually pretty cool because you can craft a lot of stuff. It's not a terrible leader to have. I forget who. Your builder gets a sniper tower, which I found to be next to useless. It's cool because it spreads out your safe zone, but just whatever. Who gives a shit? I don't play this game to be safe. Sitting on a couch, for Christ's sake. Sheriff, you get a big hospital, which doesn't make sense thematically, but it's the most useful probably, because then you can clear out a small slot, which is usually your little medical area. And then the merchant or the trader, you get a trade depot, which is just annoying because all you get is people coming to your house try to sell you shit. And you can
Yeah, I
buy like
didn't pick that
bazookas
one.
and stuff like that, but fuck it, whatever.
I went with the sheriff because it appealed to my sense of justice. Something.
You want to clear out this plague heart? You think you got what it takes?
I do. I got 6 pipe bombs and a and a rifle, ready to go.
That'll do it.
Zombies must think they own this town.
Let me put ammo in real quick and switch to burst mode.
All right.
I like to use that single mode. Oh, I got company out here.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna have a bunch of plague zombies start walking.
Let me get these
up.
3 before we go in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thin them out a little bit.
See if we got any moves.
That was easy. Where'd the other guy go? Oh, there he is. He dead. I mean, he was already dead, but he's deader.
God, I am so sick of plague zombies.
Me too.
Bass Reeves. What do you think of Bass Reeves? Do you think he was a good guy?
If it ain't
Who's Bass Reeves?
Bro. I know we kind of did a podcast, talked about him for a whole episode. Famous African American sheriff.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Blame the 24-hour news cycle, right?
Yeah. Well,
Anyway,
I mean,
all those frontier sheriffs, they were some... I mean, these dudes were killers, right?
too loud.
There's no way you did that job and not fucking gun people down.
I mean, I had that talk with your dad about.
Ah, shit!
What happened? What is it?
Well, there was a Boombalatti, one of those bloater zombies.
Oh.
I barely escaped that.
I got pipe bombs. You want me to toss it or what?
Do you see the thing?
Yeah, it's not getting me.
Oh, that's going to be a tough one to get through. Look, come here. The best way to get to this guy
Yeah.
is to go stand outside and chuck him through the window.
Okay, you ready?
Oh, I didn't know we were just going to kick out a window and make all the noise. I chose to use the door.
Oh. You have to break the window to throw it, don't you?
I would take a few steps back if you're able.
Can I throw it through the window though?
Yep, go ahead and chuck him through the window.
All right, here we go.
Fire in the hole! Sure left a mark.
Good job.
Cool. Look at me, everybody. Look what I did.
Took out his first plague heart. In
You
the
know, my
future,
Yeah.
you want to throw them a little bit slower just because there is a little bit of lead time between, I think you threw like 1 or 2 extra.
Yeah, but I don't want to, like, you know. I don't want it to get me.
I was watching your back, buddy.
Shock and awe.
Hardly worth
Shock
the
and awe.
effort.
Good night, guys. Thanks for staying up so late. 2 nights in a row to hang out with us. Really appreciate it. And hanging out with me and DJing for me while I did work.
Right?
Very kind.
Now, Sorcha, they say he brought all but one in alive. But if you were running for like a record, you want to be like, all right, bring them all in alive. You got into a spot where you had to
Damn
kill a guy. Wouldn't you just say you weren't looking for him in the
Good,
first
right?
place?
That good.
Like, oh shit, I killed him.
Whoops.
I wasn't looking for him. We'll just leave him there and say bandits got him. Yeah, bandits.
It's like that talk I had with your dad about there's one to search in here, by the way, if you haven't searched already. Your dad, it's like a conversation I had with your dad about the Texas Rangers, and I said, they had a campaign of race, like racial terror along the
Right.
border. And he was like, well, good.
Incredibly generous
illegal.
of you to call it a conversation, by the way.
Place to search for what we need.
He's like, well, good, they're illegal. So I was like, no, but these were like Americans of Mexican descent who were ranchers like you. Like they got killed because people wanted their land.
No more dead folks.
What are you gonna do? Just vaccinate your kids like they tell you? Fucking jackass.
We got a question from John who says, King B, is Roger as annoying in person as he can be on the podcast?
You know what? I'll tell you a funny story. Raj came by my house the other night to drop some stuff off for Gene.
Fuck it.
And my girlfriend was here. And we sat and we talked for a little bit. And Raj leaves. And the girlfriend, she says, is that the guy you guys are always fucking screaming about? And I go, yeah, he seems so nice. And in the beginning, when he is a stranger to you, he is quite charming and pleasant to be around. As he becomes he, I think, gets a little bit more comfortable. And, everyone goes through shit. And I think that Raj is just going through a phase in his life, and he's just trying to figure out some stuff. And, there are times he is 100% as annoying in person as he can be in the pod. But there are times where I look back on interactions I've had with him and thought we just had a really nice, fun time. So I guess to answer your question, he is just a human being like any other, and all of us are full of foibles and fucking bullshit, and every one of us is some kind of asshole to somebody.
Cam says you're like the mailbox in Little Women.
All right. I don't know,
Like,
Gene.
it-
Am I being too generous in that?
I would say
you know what? There's been times I have wanted to smack the dog shit out of him.
yeah.
But then there are other times, like I was planning a little adventure trip, and for about a minute I thought, oh man, I kind of wish I could invite this guy because I think he'd really have a good time too. So, guy once, maybe every 3 months, so he doesn't have the opportunity to listen to the pod. So I don't interact with him near as much as any of you as listeners do, really. I'm sorry to interrupt, Gene. Go ahead.
No, my take on it is essentially like it's kind of like I think that having to work with him
I have a solution for our needs.
changes things, right? So it's like I think like he wouldn't be the worst if like you're just at a bar and you're like, oh, it's that guy, But it's like when you have to actually get something done, that really changes the nature of your relationship with the person, because it's like, oh, it's like if somebody's your friend versus your coworker, right? If I have an annoying friend, whatever. But if it's like a coworker
Hey,
who's
you do have an annoying friend.
yeah, but if it's a coworker who's absolutely inept, it's like, oh no, this is going to ruin my fucking day every day. So that's the way I would look at it. God, I used all that ammunition already? Lordy.
SF Punker, I would say he absolutely does play it up for the pod. I think that, and I'm not saying this to talk shit, the guy wants to kind of be a morning radio host comedian type guy. Like that's his shtick that he's going for. Fuck, I don't know. Maybe he does that. I don't listen to morning radio because I can't stand those fucking people.
Yeah, I think one thing that I noted that I think a good analogy is, or a good point to note is that I don't think any of us write jokes. Like when we're doing our notes, we just put notes in about the movie or the show or whatever. But he'll actually write jokes out, which always I'm not a big fan of writing out my jokes because I'm not trying to tell jokes. I think King B's just funny because he's just funny.
I will say that the first pod I did was Blues Brothers, and I did write almost verbatim things that I wanted to say, just because that's what I was thinking in the moment.
I think it's
and it never fucking translates.
yeah, it doesn't work out at all. Or like, say if you were to copy something out of Wikipedia and read it word for word on a podcast, that would be
Oh
bad.
fuck! Raj did do that to us on Watchmen once, and I wanted to fucking scream. Oh.
So anyway,
How are you?
hey Ricky.
But you can catch Roger Roper on the next Shat the Movies.
Oh yeah, so they got Clueless coming out on Tuesday. Wayne's World's out right now, and then of course they do Florida Man on Tuesdays, right here on Twitch, 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. John says, so Roger is trying to be a man-cow type personality.
Yeah, probably.
Get on.
I think
Raj just
Oh, go ahead.
he's trying to map out his silliness, which is a mistake because he is naturally silly enough on his own. Maybe it's a confidence thing. He just doesn't have the confidence to just take it as it comes.
So I was super pissed at Raj over like the last couple months, like fucking like horrendously horrendous, and for all sorts of things. Then a couple Sundays doing chores, and I had Best in Show on, and the what's his face, Fred Willard, Best in Show, like he. I was watching him and I was like, fuck, that's the part of Roger I like. That's the part that cracks me up. Is when, there's like a bloodhound walking by and he's asking, we put a little Sherlock Holmes cap on him and a pipe, wouldn't that be cool? And I'm like, yeah, that's the part. Oh wow, Screamer.
Yeah, we're gonna earn it. Watch this. Pink.
Where are they coming from?
They were inside this building that I just charged into. Those at home can see how brave I am.
Watch your shots.
And you'll see like the AI guy will just sit there and shoot fucking loud bullets all day long. Which is why, another reason I choose not to bring people with.
Yeah, that didn't work out so well. I'm alright though.
Please tell me it's over. Should really enjoy peace and quiet while I can.
Yeah, John, I mean, it's not a shit talking thing. I think it's one of our listeners, Dougie Branson. He's been a long time, very, very close friend of mine, so I'm always talking shop with him. He says no matter anyone hates anyone, the podcast absolutely has to have three voices. You have three voices bouncing off each other. It's just a good, well-rounded conversation. And that two is just short. God, I remember just by himself, which I'm sure
It was
Gene
great.
loves, but yeah, of course.
That was one of our best shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I agree on the three thing, and part of the reason, like, people have asked, like, what happened to Gene or whatever, and, my whole thing is I won't record with Roger, and it's not even so much a personal thing, it's that I have certain, like, ground rules for recording, and they have to be met. So, in my case, like, you have to have your notes in on to respect others' mic time. We have to get done on time. That's a big one for me. So like if we're doing a recording, so one of the things that I always is when we're editing, it's about 3 minutes of editing for every you record. So if you go a half hour over, you're adding 90 minutes of edit time. So I am very strict about how long I'll record for, and I believe that as a service to the listener, you need to have everything under an hour. People, there are the oddballs out there that'll be like, yeah, I want a 2 hour, podcast or whatever. But most people, they want to do it on their drive, maybe their drive to work and back. That's enough, right? Um, and it's not like we get, it's not like you get an extra episode for going long. So if you want to keep the level of productivity that people are expecting from us, so multiple TV episodes a week, multiple movie episodes a week, plus Twitch, plus being present on Discord, plus Twitter, plus Instagram, plus Facebook, plus YouTube, and responding to email and everything else, like you got to keep it manageable for your team. And so for me, it's about brevity, and also like you got to boil it down to the funniest and best shit. Like you don't want to have, I don't want you guys to have to sift through 2 hours of content to find the good stuff. So, good night, Tuyach. So there's that.
I
too.
see some 3-hour podcasts, and it takes me 4 days to get through them, just because I will listen to them when I drive or whatever. And I'm not a huge podcast listener, but that hour-long podcast really is a golden number.
Yeah.
And Gene is one of the most overscheduled people I know. I mean, I don't know why he did it to himself. I wouldn't find it worthwhile at all, but it's him. And I think that, I mean, Gene looks at this as another job that he does, whereas I think other people, myself included, I just do it strictly when it's fun, and when it's not fun, I'm not fucking interested. So what happens is you start to damage these working relationships, and there comes a point where a working relationship is beyond repair.
I think there's a degree of that, and then also I think that there's a sense for most of us with criticism, like critiques and feedback, and that's an handle people who are overly sensitive to critique. So that's not to say, like, I'm not gonna say, oh, toughen up, guys, like get thick skin, not that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about genuine critique. Like that's a good thing to have on a pod. So Ash and I will usually, touch base with D, and do critiques and like let each other know what's working, what's not, and like generally. But then I would say that some people probably like can get very sensitive.
Our community will
Critique, and where that really difficult is like while you're afraid to say anything to him because he might just shut down. So, like if I tell him we're running long and we need to tighten it up, he'll just not talk at all for the next 45 minutes. And it's like, no, I didn't tell you to shut up, dude. I was just saying we need to tighten it up. Let's come on. And then we have to coax him back out of, that. I did have one time screamed at Ash and Big D though and said I was just going to walk off the podcast that day. We were doing Westworld, and they were going back and forth on a point, and I was done with it. Like I was like, okay, we don't need to talk about this anymore. And they just kept going on it. Finally, I was like, guys, we need to fucking stop it, or I'm done. And that didn't go over very well because Big D, he will fire back if you give him enough shit.
I mean, there's been times where it's definitely become not fun, and I've wanted to not just be done with a recording. Karen, it's tough, like, and I don't want it to be a shitting on one person. As an outsider at the three of them, I can place a portion of blame on every one of them for the hiccups and issues that the pod may face. But then it's just easy for me to say that because it's just words.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm no saint. Like when I blow up, I blow the fuck up, and I also.
He's been my.
I can.
There's been time. I mean, I've been friends with Gene for God, what is it, 25 years now?
25, yeah.
25 plus. And times on this pod where he's said something, and I just want to be like, I ain't your fucking employee, and I will spit in your food. And it's just because I don't take it personal, but I mean, this guy is takes what he's doing very, very seriously. Like the guy has what he wants out of this thing, and he's passionate about it, and he's dealing with a couple of people that don't share that vision. I don't share that vision, so it's there's going to be what, and that's just to say that like I'm not gonna being on the podcast with the same amount of what's the word I'm looking for, gravitas that Gene does.
Yeah, I mean, I think a big part of it for me though is also like people have like specific roles and like ways that they're contributing, and so it's like not allowing a person to in the way that they're best suited to is kind of a downer too. So, for instance, like I think Ash I would say that she's the smartest one among us. She's got an incredible brain. She can read like insanely fast. So research is her thing, and she's very, very, very good at it. And she also brings the perspective of a mother and a southern perspective, and so I totally respect that stuff. I am I'm very much a project manager, and so in my for the and so for me it's like setting schedules, setting calendar dates, making sure everybody has their shit done and in. That's very, very, very important to me. Consistency is super, super important. Not the most fun stuff in the world, but that's what I do well, and so I stick to that. I don't try to be funny because I don't think I'm naturally funny. And so I just do my thing. I think Big D is like a peacemaker. He's an everyman. People like him a lot. Raj is a bit of a goof, and like I do like that part of him. And King B is raw and very real. Is somebody dying back there? What's going on back here?
Bob's just been puking in a bucket toilet for like 10
Oh man,
minutes.
that's not good. Anyway, but the King
By the
B
way,
is
we should do an episode on bucket toilets.
bucket. No, I'm just saying. The King B brings like a very raw, and also like I think you've had probably the hardest life among us, and so that those sort of experiences that are just fucking tales that, I mean, when you tell me stories, I'm like, I can't believe that's fucking real. I've lived a fairly privileged life, unlike Bob.
Jesus Christ.
4 cheers for Bob. I would have done 3, but I already typed 4, so there it is.
Bob is my dad, and we're kind of going through a thing right now.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
So can I switch if I go to the beds, can I switch characters?
I don't know. You should try.
Let's see, where's the bed? Where are your beds? Over here. Yeah. Nope, can't. Well, that's silly. Punker is asking the question for Lovecraft Country. We're moving the Instacast to Twitch. Are we going to do the recordings of pod also? So here's the deal. So I haven't decided if I'll repost the audio as a pod, because the thing is with the Instacast is Twitch has exclusivity over any content you put on Twitch for 24 hours. So I haven't figured out if that applies to audio versions of the stream. But I'll look into that. But I really think that the gap between to drive traffic to the Instacast, I think that probably keep it on Twitch, and then people can watch the replay, on Twitch, because there's only a 1-day gap between that and the deep dive. But the deep dive will be out on the regular pod, and then we'll also devote part of the deep dive to letters. And if we start getting a lot of letters, then we'll bleed that over into Shappy Hour on Fridays. But we're really trying to make it all seamless and keep it manageable. Palmer. I'm not a Twin Peaks fan, so I don't get the reference entirely.
God, I tried Twin Peaks. I couldn't get through 2 episodes.
Oh, Carrie talked it up to me, and I was so I really wanted to understand. I just didn't get it.
That's a good sign. Trade
But I
rules.
don't get it.
Put weapons away. Approach slowly. Get to the point. Have a nice day.
Okay, I figured out how to switch my person. My person.
How do you switch your person?
I just go into my community menu like you would. So I'm just gonna jump in here and switch out real quick. Get Mick. Oh, Bob killed Laura Palmer. I get it.
Oh,
Yeah, so Punker, we've done shows without an Instacast at all, so I don't think it'll really make that much of an impact. So like when we did American Gods, when we did Taboo, when we did we've done several shows. Watchmen didn't have an Instacast initially, right? And then Roger kept pushing for 3 episodes a week. But you just gonna leave me here? What's going on?
just hang out for a minute. I'll be back.
Okay. But anyway, so we haven't always had an Instacast, and it's not for every show. So the Twitch Instacast will be great because there's no, like, the whole idea is when we do a Twitch stream, there's no editing involved. We just do it done. Whereas with and it'll help Twitch audience, so add to the audience, which would be ideal.
So what I've done now is I've started reaching out to other communities in State of Decay here. We go out on the radio. We just want to learn about our neighbors. Neighbors are going to call upon you for help with chores, or, hey, bring us this thing, or hey, can you help us find that? And then eventually you can have the option to actually recruit members of other communities to your community to help your community grow. And so, like, when I first meet a community, I'll start scoping them out and finding out if they have any traits or learned skills that are useful. And I just kind of put some feelers out there. It's kind of like dating. You meet somebody and you just kind of go, all right, what's this one all about?
Can't wait to check that off my list.
Oh man, I picked a damaged gun. That was stupid.
Way to go, you dang.
Sorry.
Can we get a black voice on Lovecraft?
Who asked that? Yeah, so Karen, the
It's
idea
Karen.
with Lovecraft Country, things. One is that Ashley and I have read the text at this point, so it is written by a white author, and it will be done. The teleplay is written by a black writer. We feel confident after reviewing the copy that we can do a good enough job at doing it. As important as it is to have diversity on the pod, also we have to understand that there's people. We have to know that the people that we can work with reliably. So the idea will be on Twitch during the Instacast to get that feedback from the audience, in which we do have people of color, and to get guidance on it. But I would never give somebody a slot on the podcast strictly because of the color of their skin, or their life experiences, because ultimately, like, yes, we could have the most diverse cast in the world, but if it's people that I can't reliably work with, I would hate to throw an unknown on the microphone. That's just not my style. So even with the King Bee, we did several episodes of movies to test out. Movies is a good testing ground because you can see how a person works on a podcast before committing to an entire season with them, which could completely torpedo your show.
And we did learn that I'm terrible at movies.
You're not terrible at movies, I don't think.
It's got to be a movie
you
that
do a lot.
speaks to my soul.
You do a lot better in person. Like, I think that's your thing. Is very tough for you. In person, you do 100 times better. John is asking about getting Carrie on Shappy Hour as a guest on Lovecraft Country. Doubtful. I haven't spoken with Carrie in over a year. I don't know if King B has spoken with her, but the last I spoke with her, she was not interested in potting, and Ash spoke with her this year, and she was interested in potting. So I don't know. You guys would have to ask
I don't
Carrie
feel
or
like-
Ash.
Yeah, the nature of her schedule. It's just not a, like... a lot of scheduling, too. It's just not get 4 people across the country on the same schedule.
represent Red Talon. I assume
Heard of you.
Yeah. This guy's name is Gupton.
Let me make you an offer.
sure.
I mean, they gotta run out of names. But yeah, I did go back and listen to some of those episodes that we recorded with Carrie, like is it Friday the 13th or
Friday
Pet
the 13th was
Cemetery?
so much fun.
God, it was so much fun. That was like such a great run of like 3 or 4 episodes that we did together that were just fucking hilarious. But yeah, I mean, she definitely has a talent for it. Like, you know, like there are certain people, like as soon as you get them on mic, you're like, okay, yeah, they've definitely got it. And other people, you know, you would think would be really good, and they're
That was a good
not
kill.
great. Thanks.
Yeah, recording podcasts is a weird acquired talent.
Like driving.
Yeah. We remember last week I flew through those cars. Maybe not those cars.
I think you were on the that Pyro Eagle or whatever the.
Yeah, it was a smaller car.
But yeah, but Big D and Ash both have a good relationship with Carrie, and you know they're definitely in touch with her. So, you know, never say never.
The world is dangerous enough. Why do we keep taking stupid chances?
Pain don't hurt.
Pain no hurt. Name that movie.
It's good. I don't know that.
See if anybody in the audience knows. Pain don't hurt.
Time to start digging around.
There is a feral in that building.
It's Roadhouse, people. Roadhouse.
Oh. We gotta take him out.
Farrell.
Ready? Watch this. Pow!
Oh, there he is. Fuck.
I think I gotta kill the feral with my car.
But I'm still alive.
He said a swear.
Heading home. Hope you're still there when I get back.
Whew. It's a closey. Thanks for sticking with us, guys. We still have 13 viewers after 2 hours. That's amazing,
How about
guys.
that?
Thanks.
I figured we'd wrap it right at a minute or an hour 20. What do you say?
Well, we're at 2
The
hours.
2 hour mark.
Oh, that's 6 minutes from now.
Yeah, I'm sick of it.
All right, cool, guys. We're going to wrap it up. So thanks for joining us for... We got 6 minutes left, though. But thanks for joining us for the first episode. You guys were all here. You get the T-shirts for being here. Getting by with
Can we
the King
set
Bee
like
week 1.
a cheer goal, and I'll tell people an embarrassing secret about Gene?
Okay, yeah. Let's go for... if we hit 100 bits of cheering...
This is a
you
pretty
can tell
good
an embarrassing secret. 100 bits for a secret about Gene. And again, but join us tomorrow for Shappy Hour at 9 p.m. Eastern. It'll be me, so be the King Bee, if he's celebrating Ash's birthday, drinking French 75s. I'll teach you guys how to make those. If you are joining us, you will need champagne, lemon juice, simple syrup, and gin. Oh, there we go. John cheered 100 bits.
That was way too easy. You set the goal way too low, bro.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody's awake out there.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. You gotta let them fail their goals sometimes.
I'm good cop though. You're
All
bad
right.
cop.
Get him? All right. Embarrassing secret about Gene. Jane once confessed to everyone in, God, this was junior high, that he took a coat hanger. Gene, you can stop me on this one. If
No, go
know
for
what
it.
I'm
Yeah.
This
Yeah, I
one's
know.
all right.
Yeah, it's fine.
Took a coat hanger and he straightened it out and he put it up his butt as far as to see how far he could put it up there, just because he was curious.
Yeah, I mean, I was a young man discovering my body,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to put anything like wide in diameter in there. A coat hanger seemed to be both long, bendable, and narrow. I hope you're happy, John.
It probably says more about me that I have retained that information since we were 16 years old than it does
Yeah.
about you having shared it.
I mean, I don't know. If you had done the same thing, I would have brought it up. I would have said, "Hey, remember that time that the coat hanger up his ass?" Now, in
You do
hindsight,
still bring up the fictional sex tape.
oh, dude, that sex tape is so real.
It's not real.
I remember everything that was on. It was The Simpsons was on. I remember who it was.
What was the format?
Man, that is a lot of fucking zombies.
What do you mean? What was the format?
What
Like
was
the format of the
tape?
tape? It was one of those
The tape.
mini tapes.
Ah, son of a bitch.
Little tiny one. You had to put in the adapter.
All right.
Yeah, I remember. Punker says he was gonna clip that, but
Yeah.
all right, guys, we're back at home base with 3 minutes to spare. So as you can see, this is just the beginnings
We
of
got
this
a
community,
zombie attack
guys.
coming.
Oh, cool. All right, we're gonna take him
We're gonna
out.
take care of this. We'll call it.
All right, so as you guys can see, look at this baby little fortress. It will someday grow to be a hive. Just this one guy? Oh, there's one.
In the distance, more is coming. Now remember, bullets are scarce.
Oh yeah. Can I just get down there? Oh, you're already down there.
Yeah, just climb your happy ass down here.
We either find more ammo or we start practicing with slingshot.
Gotcha. Where? Oh, there's one. I got him.
There you go.
Yay, look at that. Yeah, Jen, we're still here, but we're just about to close out.
Oh, Jen, you missed Dean's awful secret.
Yeah, you did.
Never to be repeated.
Never ever. So yeah, so guys, so this is the beginnings of the King Bee's base. So join us next week at 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursday for the continuation of Getting By with the King Bee, where we will
We
be
didn't,
probably moving.
Didn't spend any time talking about the book
Chickens.
I wanted to cover or
Yeah.
the topics.
Yeah.
So reach out to us on Twitter. I'm at Phantom King B. Gene is at Gene Lyons. Gore Lyons, probably. Any feedback or requests for information or topics you'd like covered, let me know. And we'll get to them free of charge. Not like them movies and TVs you guys are falling all over yourselves to commission. I give you the info for free.
Yeah, in addition to that, guys, one more reminder that thanks everybody who subscribed, who cheered. We really, really appreciate it. Great first night for the King Bee. Also, tomorrow, Shappy Hour is Ashley Schlafly's birthday party. So we are celebrating with French 75, so join us at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, Florida Men on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. And Squad Goals next week. I believe we're going to do NBA 2K20. Or maybe Warzone. So that'll be on Wednesday. We'll announce it. So make sure to join us on the Discord if you haven't already to get the latest and greatest and hang out with us all week. And yeah, Schlafly Hour. That's right, Karen. And then also download Wayne's World on Shot the Movies if you haven't already. Next week will be Clueless with Ashley Schlafly, a younger Ashley Schlafly from the past, and in addition to all that, Lovecraft Country will be coming up with. We'll be putting that announcement out next week officially. So keep an eye out for that too. And we're going to be covering tomorrow night. Very, very exciting. We're actually going to be covering all the shit that goes on behind the scenes at Shat the Movies. Is like meticulously going through every horrible task we have to do to bring the podcast to you, and how much we love doing it. So.
Don't
Nick
forget
said,
to tune in and watch that Florida Men so someone can tell me what the fuck it's all about. I can't be bothered.
We have to improve our storage.
and Nick says, King B, good job on the first episode. Thanks, Nick.
Oh,
We got
thanks,
a big
Nick.
problem here. We need help now. Our neighbors
All right,
just
I guess
stole
that's it. We'll catch you next week, everybody. Thank you very much for showing up.
I take care, guys. See you in Discord.
Off.